Hi guys, welcome. Hello. Oh, it's good to see some of you here. Hi. How are you? I always get so nervous whenever I first come on. I always get really nervous, and then once I start the video, I'm fine. How are y'all? Oh, it's great to see you here. Hi. So hopefully this week I'm gonna look in the right. I think I have to look up here. Sorry if I just poked you in the eye there. How's your week been? Today's a bank holiday here, so this is why I'm kind of sorry I've been down we live really close to a loch, so I've been down at the loch with the kids today, and it's been lovely because it's bank holiday and they're off school. So excuse how I'm dressed, but I just wanted to pop on because I said I would be here for you every Monday. And this week I want to talk about money. A subscriber of mine sent me a message this week about she was struggling with pricing and struggling with issues of charging for friends and family. So she was asking a wee bit of advice, and I just thought this is such a great topic to talk about this week. So thank you, Rebecca, for giving me this idea, and I hope what I responded to you helped you in some way. Hopefully it did. But that's what gave me the idea of chatting about this. So today we're going to talk about money. Everybody hates talking about money. I hate talking about money. So yeah, you're preaching to the converted. When I got that message, I really could relate to everything that Rebecca had. I'm just going to plug my mic in. I've realised my mic isn't plugged in, so it's probably really echoey. Just give me a wee second. Hopefully that sound will be better for you. Sorry if that was really echoey. Is the sound better? Oh, hold on. I don't know what's gone. Hi, Simone. Hi, Josie. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Martha. It's good to see you. So yeah, we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about charging. How much should you charge? Should you charge family and friends? And at the end of the video, I'll talk about tips that I find help me when it comes to talking about money and charging people. So basically, to give you a bit of background, I do cakes. I only really do cakes for friends and family, but I make cake toppers and sell them online, and I've done so since 2012. It's been a great source of income for me. It's been great to keep me sane when I've been a stay-at-home mom, and it's just been such a blessing to me to be able to be a mom and earn money. But when you're self-employed, everybody just seems to think that you don't work, or that they can maybe get a wee freebie off you, or you get people doing raffles and would you mind donating this, that, and the other. So it can be really, really hard because there's only one of you. If you're doing cakes or toppers like me, you're only one person, and there's only so much you can do. So I hate getting messages from someone saying, I can get this cake for £10 cheaper, or the best is how much. I hear you. I hear you. So when people say that to me, I just feel like saying, well, go and get, I sell toppers on eBay. So you get people coming and saying, oh, I've seen this cake topper for £15. Can you do it for £15? And I feel like saying, well, if you've seen it for £15 and that's what you want to spend, go and buy the one at £15. This is my price. Yeah, and I think people genuinely have no idea how much work goes into a cake. They just see the pretty finished ended product. And when Asda and Tesco's or the supermarkets wherever you are doing them so cheap, it's really hard to compete, but they're getting a personalized handmade item from scratch. They're getting something that's homemade with the best ingredients. So you can't really put a price on that. So what I would say and time and effort, yeah, I mean, if you're like me, I am so picky and fussy and it drives me mad. In some ways, it can be good. Totally bespoke. Yes, you're right. You're right. I mean, if they go into Asda and pick a Disney Cars cake, every every child in the UK, or if you're Walmart or wherever you are, they're going to get exactly the same cake. They're getting something totally personalized to their child or to them. And, I don't know if you've ever tasted the supermarket cakes, but they don't taste good. My daughter, she's really, really funny. She is a cake snob. In fact, she's a food snob. And anything that is shop bought, she just will not have. So if she goes to a party, but it's really embarrassing, but if she goes to a party, she'll ask, the mum, is that cake shop bought, or is that homemade or shop bought? She's such a cake snob and she's spoiled. But the other day, sorry, I'm going to tell this wee story and then I'll get back to what we're talking about. But the other day, we were out for a wee drive. Her and I, we went out for a wee coffee, and the only thing that she's not keen on being shop bought, she's fine apparently with shop bought eggs. A friend of mine, her son has hens, and his hens do the most beautiful organic eggs. This is his thing. He's 10 or 11, I'm not sure what age he is, and the eggs are just unbelievable. We all love the eggs, except Holly. Holly she prefers shop bought eggs. And when I said to her the other day, why do you prefer shop bought eggs? These eggs are amazing. She's like, yeah, I don't like the eggs that come out of a chicken. She thought the shop bought eggs just came from the shop. They came from the exact same place. I wasn't going to put her right. I wasn't going to tell her the truth. But yeah, you're right. It's totally bespoke and it's time and effort. So what I would say when it comes to money and charging people is just do what you feel comfortable with. I love to do cakes for friends and family most of the time for free. It's just my thing. I like to give my niece or nephew a wee cake for their birthday, but then that'll be their present. That's just what I like to do. Not everybody's like that. And if you want to charge your family, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You do what you're comfortable with. At the same time, there's friends that I would do things, like really good friends that I would maybe do. Are your kids the same? Oh my goodness, I'm so glad it's not just me. It's so embarrassing though whenever they say, Mum, the cake at that party, it was shop bought, so, as though it's like some sort of crime that the poor parent has committed. But yeah, I would say just do what you're comfortable with. I mean, how I work it out is, this is how I make myself feel comfortable charging for cakes. It's taken me a long time to get to the point where I can charge what I want. And it's really down to thinking about how valuable is your time. If you give a cake away and you're going to be spending a full day, you're sacrificing a day with your children. You're sacrificing a day with your husband. You're sacrificing time where you could be just looking after yourself, going for a wee coffee, or just, being in the garden, doing whatever it is that you want to do. And there's nothing as disheartening. I have learned this the hard way, in handing over a cake that you have put maybe 12 hours into, and you're going to maybe get 10 or 20 quid afterwards. It's just so disheartening. So it's keeping that in mind. And I think if someone really wants a cake from you and they've seen your quality of work, they will pay what you're asking them to pay. And if they don't, then it's fine, because you don't want to be wasting a full day for 20 quid. So that's what I would say. And it's not that I know that the cake toppers I sell online, they're expensive. They are really quite expensive compared to, so I sell on eBay. And a lot of people on eBay are looking for a bargain, and there's loads of bargains to be had. So there's people on eBay that would sell Eggle Peggle cake topper set, including Eggle Peggle, Upsy Daisy, Tombly Boos, the whole lot, for 20 quid. And I just think, that's up to that person. If they're happy enough, if that's the price that they're happy enough setting. I'm worth more than that. My family are worth more than that. My time is worth more than that. I know how long that's going to take. Oh, what's my eBay called? It's called Custom Cake Toppers, Simone. So yeah, if you go on there, my stuff, it's not cheap. It's not really expensive, but in eBay terms, it's not cheap. But I still sell. I sell on eBay. I would sell maybe 2 or 3 cake toppers a day. So it works out well for me. I don't want to be selling maybe 10 things a day at £10. I would far rather sell 3 things at £30. So you can sell less but make more, if you understand what I'm saying. So if you price things properly, you could be doing 5 or 6 cakes a week at £45 a cake, or you could do 2 at £120 a cake. It's all going to work out in the end, but it's better for you to get paid what you want and not to have the added stress. It's called Custom Cake Toppers, Simone. I started that wee business in 2012. I must do a wee video on how I got here. I don't know if you would be interested in that and hearing how I got to where I am and how I started. And selling on eBay, if you make cake toppers and you could do the same. You can do exactly the same if you paint or whatever your hobby is. There will always be somebody that will buy something from you. So it's not that you yourself are worth £30 an hour. It's that the way I look at it is my children are worth £30 an hour. My husband is worth £30 an hour. My mom and my dad, my sister, my friends, that's what it's going to take time away from those things. And that's how I price whenever I'm doing a custom order for someone and they want something really extravagant. I go back and say, I'm not offended if this is too much, but this is the price. And most of the time, people are willing to pay for something special. Maris, it's an eBay shop. It's called Custom Cake Toppers. I've just started selling on Etsy as well. eBay, I know eBay inside and out. If any of you need help selling on eBay or you need any tips or you would maybe like to do something similar, I would be more than happy to do a wee video on that. But I know eBay inside and out. I've been doing eBay for years, but I started making templates. Aileen, if you type in, I wonder, can you find me through my eBay shop? My eBay shop is, oh, thank you. My eBay shop is Custom Cake Toppers. So, but I maybe should change it to Happy Bee Cakes. It's because I started it a long, long time ago before Happy Bee Cakes existed. But as I was saying, I do Etsy now. So, well, I do Etsy as well. Because I started making some templates to go along with some of the videos. So there were some people were saying, oh, could you give me, how much sugar paste did you use for this? And what size was the head? And if I was, could you tell me the exact size? So I started making templates to go along with some of the tutorials. So eBay doesn't let you sell digital products. So that's why I've started on Etsy. And Etsy seems to be really working out so far as well. And again, it's working out what you're worth to charge. So with Etsy, it seems to be a more higher quality. So people are inclined to pay a bit more on Etsy. So the toppers, you can find me on Etsy on Happy Bee Cakes. I think I have one topper on there at the minute, and I know exactly how long that topper took me to make. And I priced it, I think I've it priced at about £65, and I've sold one of them. So that's what I'm happy with. And I think if you start, I mean, in the beginning, when you're starting out doing cakes, you're just happy to get a cake order. You're so happy when anybody asks you to make a cake. I know I was. So, and that's fine. I mean, at the start, I used to do cakes for 25 quid. I used to do freebies. And that's great to get experience, to get a wee bit of learning under your belt. But once you're turning this into a business and you're spending quality time on this and it's taken away from other things, then you really need to think about what you're worth and charging what you're worth. So another thing that Rebecca had asked me was, do I offer discount and stuff? So what I would say is I would sometimes offer discount. There are certain people that come to me time and time and time again, and I don't even tell the person that they're getting a discount, but I kind of think they're a really loyal customer. But if you're going to offer discount, in my eyes, you better have a good reason, because if you give that person discount and they come back again, oh, can you not find it, Maris? I wonder, I will put a link, once this video is over, I will put a link to my eBay shop and my Etsy shop in the description below for you if you're wanting to have a wee nosy. So that's basically how I have completely lost my train of thought. So I've just got a few wee notes here. So yeah, once you start charging people, it's funny because whenever I was doing, at the start, I done lots of cakes for free, and I still do. And if there's any friends or family here watching that I've done free cakes for, I'm not talking about you. If I offer to make something for someone for free, I really want to do it for free, and I don't want your money. I like to do free things a lot of the time, but sometimes there are certain people that when you give them a wee freebie, it's like, oh, I'll take another wee freebie and I'll take another wee freebie. And sometimes people will take advantage. And I think you just have to rely on your instinct when it comes to certain people. So, there's been times where I've said, oh, I'd love to make a wee cake, or I would love to do a wee cake. Or there's times people have asked me to make, and I'll say, yeah, I don't want any payment, and that's perfectly fine. But it's funny because there have been a few people who I had done free things for. But, okay, so for example, I had somebody who I'd done free cakes for, but every year, the cake got more and more extravagant. So we started from, I would like to do this for such and such birthday. It's just a wee gift from me. So what would you like? So I would like a cake with, a wee topper on it or whatever. But as the time went on, it suddenly turned into a 3-tier cake with 5 toppers on it. And you can't do a cake like that for free. So I started charging people like that were thinking they were maybe getting a free cake that was going to be huge. They were maybe thinking, oh, this is great. I get a really good, if I'm getting this cake for free, I'll get the Armin type thing. And the funny thing is, so I must have done maybe 5 or 6 free cakes, and then I said to this person, like, I'm going to have to start charging you. I'm not going to charge you full price, but if it's going to be that type of cake, I'm going to have to start charging you, for it. And that is the last cake that this person, ever asked me to make. So what does that tell you? It tells you that I was putting in all this time and effort, and really it wasn't worth a lot to the person, because I think if you're worth it, they'll pay you what you're worth. And I think as well, and I'm not offended if someone decides to go to someone else. I don't get offended if they can get a bargain and they're happy enough with a different style of cake. I'm perfectly happy, but that taught me a huge lesson, because I kind of took from there. Oh, there's me, Sophia. Hi, Sophia. Yes, you and I have talked about this. You and I remember us talking about this last year at the caravan, about pricing and money. And yes, it's really, really hard to get people to understand how much work you put in. And sometimes it's all right to say to somebody, this cake's going to take me at least 5 or 6 hours. And what I would do sometimes as well is kind of tell them what the ingredients are going to be. So another story, I had said to my husband, this is last year, right, that's it. I'm not doing any more bought cakes for anybody. I'll just do cakes for friends and family for free, but I don't want any more cake orders because it's too much stress and, on top of the wee business I have. So then he came home from church one night and he was like, oh, I give such and such your number. They want a wee cake. And I told him you would do it. You would do the cake. Well, you can imagine I was like, oh no. And so then this person who is lovely from church texted me wanting the cake done. So I felt like I couldn't say no. It was a chocolate cake with chocolate ganache and all the chocolate. Hi, Crazy Emma. Yeah. Sometimes you do have to stop doing cakes if you're not making money from it and it's not giving you the joy. If you're getting the joy from it and it's therapeutic and it's good for your state of mind and you're enjoying it, by all means keep doing it. But you're right. If you're feeling that it's becoming a burden, you're right to stop. And that's where I was. I mean, the toppers are a lot more lucrative for me personally than the cakes. And I don't know, you can probably see here, there's 6 naked LOL dolls sitting here and there's a caterpillar and stuff. I mean, I can start them and stop them. And whereas with the cake, it's a huge undertaking. So this cake, it was a chocolate cake, and I went to Tesco's and it broke my heart buying all the stuff. I kept the receipt actually because I meant to post it on Instagram just to show people how much. So the cake, between the chocolate and all the ingredients, it was £29 in Tesco's alone. This is before I bought a board, a box, ribbon, that type of thing. That's how much it was. And I knew what I had quoted for the cake, and I just thought, this is just not that, that's it. And that's sort of, I think it's okay to say to somebody, this cake, the ingredients are going to be £30 alone, so I'm going to have to charge. Chocolate is so expensive. Yeah, Sophia, and so is butter. What is going on with the price of butter at the minute? I mean, a block of butter is maybe £4. And yeah, it's people don't, I think because these supermarkets are doing the cakes for £10 and the same good, it just takes away from the value of what you're doing. And people just want a wee, they just want a wee bargain. Sometimes, not everybody, some people genuinely have no idea the time that goes into it and the cost involved. But it doesn't do any harm to tell people, but like if somebody comes to you and says, I want a Trolls cake and I would like 4 toppers on this cake, it's all right to say, okay, before I even decorate this cake, the ingredients alone are going to be £30. So I have to charge for my time on top of that. And then each topper is this, and this. And I think pricing is a very personal thing. And I think, Sophia, you are well worth every penny that you would charge for. And I'm not just saying that, she's my niece, but she is really, really, really talented. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Thank you. And thank you all for your messages after the last live of support. It was lovely. There was a few of you had sent me messages on Instagram and stuff. This is all pretty scary and it seems really cringy to me to do this, but I don't have time to really sit down and do a proper talking video and edit it. And I like chatting with you as well. So thank you for your support and for coming on Instagram. So this is another thing. This isn't about money, but this is about YouTube. I don't know what's going on with my comments at the minute. A lot of you have sent me messages where you can't leave comments. Some of you can, a lot of you can't, and it's to do with this issue with YouTube and family vloggers where they've taken all the people's comments able to comment away on their channel. They did do this on my channel, so the comments are moderated. So sometimes I'll not even see because they'll maybe not let your comment through. So if you do want to send me a wee message, I'm on Instagram and I'll put it down below as well. It's Happy Bee Cakes as well. But yeah, I'm hoping this issue will be resolved. It could be worse. There's a YouTuber I watch. It's a completely different type of channel. It's like a real crime channel. And she's just lovely, and her channel's amazing. And her whole channel was demonetized at the weekend there. She got up on Saturday morning, and the whole thing, all totally, her ability to make money was taken away, just like that. So it could be a lot worse. So back to, I always kind of get carried away and chat to you guys and get sort of lost about what I was going to say. But yes, so the main points are, don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed to charge what you know how much time you're going to put into this, you know how much effort it's going to take, and you know how much it's going to cost. And there were times where there's nothing as bad as going to someone, handing them a cake that you've put so much effort into, and they're like, oh, thanks, it's lovely, thanks very much. And then they just take it. And there's so many times in the early days I would have came home and my husband just would have said, well, you're the one that told them you would do the cake for whatever amount of money. You're the only one that can fix it. But it is really, really, really hard talking money. So with that said, I have a few things that I do when I'm uncomfortable. So my worst nightmare is when someone I know, not friends or family, because that's a given, I just like to do stuff like that. But say someone from church or someone from school or, one of your children's teachers comes and asks you to do a wee cake. Oh my goodness, it's just like I'm like, oh, please, please, please. I just hate having to talk money with people I know. If I don't know you, I can tell you, right, this is how much the ingredients are, this is how much the toppers are going to be, and then I just leave it and I'm fine. But if it's somebody I know, I really struggle talking money. So these are things that I do when someone I kind of know or that's an acquaintance asks me to make a cake. So to take the awkwardness out of it, I used to say, my cakes are really expensive. My cakes are really, so I won't be offended in the least if you don't want a cake from me because I'm really expensive. In other words, they're going to think that you're ripping them off. Don't do that. Whatever you do, just say to them, like, I have a starting price. So if somebody comes up to you that's an acquaintance or knows your brother or whatever and says, oh, I'd like a wee cake, just say, well, my cakes start at 60 quid, 65 quid, whatever your starting price is, or have a base price, and just say that includes a covered cake, basic covered cake, and if you want any, or a basic decorated cake, and if you want any little handmade figures, they'll be extra. And then that way they get an idea and they'll know whether that's in their budget or not. Do not say to people, oh, thank you, Sophia, you're a wee darling. Do not say to people, oh, and this is another thing I used to do you have a budget? Don't ask people what their budget is. You're basically letting them dictate what your time is worth. Only you know what your time is worth. So don't say, oh, what's your budget? Because they're always going to lowball it. This is your time and your business. So don't hand that control or that power over to somebody else. So another thing, you can give them a starting price. And so if they say, or else you can say, have you an idea of the thing that you have in mind? So you can say, right, how many portions do you need? What flavors are you looking for? And what's the theme? And if you want any handmade toppers, and you can just say, right, I'll go and do a wee bit of work on that and I'll get back to you with a quote. Then when you get back to them, you can just text them and that's it. It's not that you're having to sit and work it out or tell them face to face. And sometimes, so you can send them a text and then you can say, this is, and you're not having to feel embarrassed. I was going to say something there. I've completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, I find that completely takes the awkwardness out of having to quote people or give them a price. And sometimes, even when you've given someone a price. So a few weeks ago, a lady who I've done a few cakes for. So I still do cakes for not old people, but clients that have bought cakes off me before. So and I told her, 3 or 4 times that this cake is £65, and she was quoted £65. And she came to pick up the cake and say, "So how much is that then?" It's £65. I don't know why people do. It's almost like they want to make you feel awkward so that you're having to say it out loud. Or maybe she has picked up that I feel really awkward. And it's like, I've given you the price, just get it over with. Even the whole, money crossing hands. I hate physically taking money off people. So that's another thing, is just get that part out of the way, and you can do it over the phone, and you can give them a quote. I'm just looking at my wee notes. Yes, this is another thing that I wrote down. Sometimes I'm pointing, pointing my finger, but sometimes I have been. So there was a cake I done last year, and it was a lovely, lovely lady that knows my sister, and she had asked me to make a Greatest Showman cake. So I knew how much work was going to go into this cake, but I didn't realize that I would get carried away and my ideas would get carried away. So when I initially quoted her, I thought, oh goodness, I'm quoting her a bit much here. This I don't want her to think I'm ripping her off. I'm really go highballing this cake. But I quoted her for it, and once the cake was finished, I realized I should have charged more. So don't be afraid because you can always backtrack. You can always say, that cake's going to be £85. And then when it comes to delivering the cake, you can say, that cake, I got it done a lot quicker than I thought at 75. And that way, that's a really good experience. Or you can say to the customer, I can give you £10 off your next order, or I can give you the cake for cheaper. And it's always better to maybe quote slightly more, because the majority, 99% of the time, you'll always wish afterwards that you charged more, because you have an idea in your head as to how much time it's going to take, and it always takes so much longer. So don't be afraid to kind of highball it and just see how you go. These are just I'm just looking at some of my other notes. These are just some of the wee things that I have come up with in doing cakes and cake toppers. Obviously, it's easier for me now because I'm selling online. So the photo behind is beautiful. Oh, thank you. Well, I'll show you the wee photo. I'll show you how I'm dressed, because as I say, I was down at the lock. I walk in. So this is Brody, Holly, and Dylan. This is my 3 wee kitties. And I have to show you my wee doggy. Show you my wee dog. Do you like my Christmas socks as well? My feet are always cold. It doesn't matter what the weather's like outside. This is my wee doggy. She died last year, and I really need to get another wee dog, but I can't bring myself to. But she was a wee Chihuahua, and I just love Chihuahuas. So yeah, I'm a dog person. But yeah, so that's basically everything that I had thought of chatting to you about money. And like I say, if you have any questions or anything that I can help you with, by all means, it's lovely whenever I get a wee message from you. And I've got some really, really lovely messages from some of you this week, which just mean the world, because sometimes you're doing this type of thing, and speaking here is not, I'm naturally the type of person that just likes to blend in. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I just feel like I'm supposed to. I just feel like there's something that's driving me to make these videos. And if it even helps just a tiny handful of you, then I'm really happy with that. So it's lovely to hear from you. And if you can leave a wee comment below, whether YouTube lets you or not, leave a wee comment. And if you have any ideas about, I had thought next Monday about talking about cake disasters, because I've had I've had a few, and if you've had any cake disasters, then let me know and I can read out your cake disasters as well. If you want to email me any of your stories, my email is happybcakes@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment or message me on Instagram. And if I get enough stories, I have a few, but if I get enough, then I'll maybe do a video on that next week. Or if you have any ideas for a video, I'd love to hear from you. Oh, Carissa, thank you. Oh, that just means so much. Do you know, I think the kids are knocking at the door. I love making the tutorials. I don't put myself out there like I'm some sort of expert. There's so many people that are so much better than me at what I do. And that sort of put me off making videos for such a long time, because I thought, well, sure, there's so much, look at her. But I'm so glad that I have done this, because I feel like a lot of the time the messages I get are from people like me or other mummies that are making cakes for their kids. So that's such a compliment to say that I'm relatable. Thank you. And I think it's nice to do these videos because I get to chat with you guys as well, and even afterwards. So it's lovely when you pop on and say hello. So I am going to go and enjoy the rest of bank holiday. We're going to go and I have to get dinner first, and then I think we're going to go and get a wee ice cream. And if you want to see what I'm up to, sometimes I'll put, today we live near a huge loch. So today we went on the bikes and went exploring around the loch. So sometimes I'll put wee Instagram stories and stuff on. So I don't know if you're interested in that, but that's Happy Bee Cakes as well. As always, guys, thank you so much for your support. And if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. I'll put the links to my Etsy shop and eBay shop and Instagram in the description below once this video is done doing what it needs to do. And it's been lovely chatting to you. So I'll see you for a tutorial this week, and then I'll catch you live again next Monday. Bye, guys.